So, while the logo for the musical Cleavage might say otherwise, it was not, in fact, a review about breasts.
That's it, that's Kevin's whole line I gave him. Cleavage played 6 previews before closing on opening night in 1982 at the Playhouse Theater. The Playhouse was a 499-seat Broadway house on 48th Street near 9th Avenue. Its other shows over the years included Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, and Quilters. It at times was also called the Jack Lawrence. The amazing thing is that we rehearse all of our concerts at Studios 353, which is right on the spot where this theater was. Is that crazy? It's Cleavage forever.
History is everywhere.
It is.
Okay. Cleavage. History's a mystery. Tomorrow, that thing that people say and put on pillows. Cleavage started out in Biloxi, Mississippi, and traveled to Houston and New Orleans before landing on Broadway. The title was a nod to its theme, the union or separation of both old and young couples in pursuit of love, marriage, or other emotional commitments, i.e., people cleaving. The tagline lent another layer to the title and was, a new musical, close to where the heart is.
There was a cast of 5 men and 4 women, but the stage was also filled with dummies that participated in the action. The show's bad reviews called it amateurish and slammed it harshly enough so that it had to close on opening night. Are you ready for this? Cleavage was written by brothers Buddy and David Sheffield. David went on to become the head writer for Saturday Night Live for years, as well as to write all of the Nutty Professor and Police Academy films. Buddy was the head writer for In Living Color and created the Nickelodeon series Roundhouse. Neither have returned to Broadway.
Well, what amazing contribution.
Yeah, and who knows, I feel like Cleavage has a vibe that you can tell. They have skits and sketches, and it seemed to teach them something they took on with them.
Variety felt that the show was modeled after Company, and noted an eager Beaver cast tries desperately to breathe life into Cleavage. One of these cast members was Jay Rogers, whose number they were about to see brought down the house. Boys Will Be Girls was about, according to the Daily News, a troubled mother and a homosexual son who does a drag act to finance his lover's proposed restaurant. Here to speak about and sing from Cleavage, welcome Jay Rogers.
There he is!
I don't know any of that stuff. This was 1982. I was young. I was innocent. So was the whole cast. We were just babies. And we came to New York to take it by storm, and gosh, we didn't. Cleavage. It was a bust. Can you believe they never said it? I think it was Clyde Barnes that said it was the worst thing to come out of the South since the yellow fever epidemic. And the truth is, he was right. But we didn't know. We certainly didn't know. We thought we were going to take it. They loved us in New Orleans. They loved us in Houston. They loved us in my hometown, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, of all places. And we were just ready to get out of there and come here and show the people that, just because you're from down there doesn't mean you suck. But we didn't prove that at all. We were young and fresh, and that had a lot to do with it. When it came, that we started as a children's theater, the Sheffield started, and it very successfully. We toured, we opened the Kennedy Center Family Series, all over. It toured for many years, very well received, and somebody said, well, you should go to Broadway, write a Broadway show, and they did. They took that advice and just didn't do so well. But we had a good time at the time. Now, we came to New York. I think I came in 81, and then I had to move back to rehearse in Biloxi. And then we moved back to do the show here. It was June, I think, right down the street. Oh, gosh. The theater was charming. We all had to become equity because we weren't equity. So they all bonded us. We all became equity. And then after the show closed, we couldn't work for the company anymore because the company wasn't equity. So here I am. All right, here's the thing you need to know. I was 20-something. I was skinny, as cute, darling, gay, and in Mississippi, not so easy. But they wrote this part for me. Buddy wrote this part for me, this drag queen. Now, this was 80, 81. This was before La Cage. I mean, people were fine with drag queens, but it had not become quite so celebrated. And so I had to tell my parents that I was going to the Broadway, but I'd be appearing as a woman. And, I was so glad that my grandmother had a heart attack, and everybody was in the hospital already when I told them. So, just in case things went south, But it was all okay. I had an outfit. It was orange. It was purple. It's before the show opened, we had, we kept did the previews, and they kept trimming. And before I got in the drag, I had a scene and had a few minutes to get makeup and a little hair and a little, but they cut the scene right before me. So instead of having 3 minutes, I had like 30 seconds. But it was fine. So in the, I have an argument with my mother. She's helping me get dressed to go to a drag show. It just made no sense. Mandy Lane on Bourbon Street was my Mandy Lane. Anyway, Mandy Lane was a big success in her own mind. After she sang the number, he came back and ran into his girlfriend in the dressing room, and he had explained it. Oh, well, I'm a cocksucker. No, he didn't say that. But it would have been a lot funner if he did. Anyway, what happens was this number, and I guess Jeremy has said enough. Do I need to stop now?
You're great. This is perfect.
Are there any questions? All right, so I didn't know. I tried to do this without any comments coming from me because, as we realized, it's kind of, well, you'll see. I do want to say this. I'm so glad to be here tonight. Cleavage was my reason to come to Broadway, and then just last night they did the elegies for Angels, Punks, and Raging Queens right here. I was in the original cast. Really, seriously, I played a drag queen. Put on a dress one time. That's right. And then what else happened here? Oh, when Pigs Fly, we had the reunion right before the acts, the revival. We had the reunion here. I told my friend Lloyd, I'm old enough to be revived. He said, resuscitated. Anyway, I just wonder, but since all those things have come together in Cleavage right now, am I going to die? Do you know something I don't know? I'm just curious. With that in mind, let's sing this happy little tune, shall we? Strange the way the fashions change today. Boys will be girls. Even the guys who once were Ivy League guys are now changing to pearls. Well, just because you're in drag, it doesn't mean you're a fag. Just look at Milton Berle. Like it or not, some like it hot, and those boys will be girls. Well, I was back in school, I thought it'd really be cool to join the varsity football team. But when my number was called, I really went for the ball. You should have heard that quarterback scream. No matter what the game, the score is always the same. You'll find boys will be girls. Even tough athletes are wearing high heel cleats because boys will be girls. Well, I was once a Marine. I had to guard the latrine, but they called me peeking in. In response to the charge, I said, listen, Sarge, I'm just looking for a few good men. Can you believe it? No matter what you do, you're gonna find it's true that those boys will be girls. I travel around any city or town, you'll find boys will be girls. I think you'll find it so with every kind of Joe from different worlds. Even Eskimos are wearing pantyhose because boys will be girls. You know that Idi Amin was just an African